Are you guys also struggling to create the cool data tables in Figma? Your struggle ends here because in today's video we are going to create the super cool dynamic data table which will basically allow you to create any sort of data tables using the same component where you can have the inputs in the data table. You can have checkboxes, radio buttons, or buttons, icons, images, anything which you want as per your need, and then you'll be able to create the cool tables just within the minutes once you define this table component. So let's, without any further delay, get started with it in Figma. But before that, make sure you're already subscribed to the channel, because if you're not doing that, then you're going to miss the all exciting updates from the channel. So yeah, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon. Yes, let me quickly create a frame here. This is going to be our cell, so let me rename it table cell. And doesn't matter even if you don't have the paid Figma version. It doesn't matter, you can still follow through the tutorial. I will add an auto layout. Size doesn't matter, we'll first create an auto layout. Okay, let me select this and then add an auto layout, because when we create the auto layout, it automatically adopts with the content with the frame. But guys, if you are on the UI3, make sure you will not find the auto layout upfront visible here. There's this small icon, use auto layout in the layout section. So be sure you are aware of these new changes if you are on UI3. But if you are on the older UI still, then you can click on the auto layout on the properties panel quickly, or you can hit shift A, which anyway is going to add the auto layout inside the Figma to the selected elements. Okay, so let me add a table cell text here, because this is going to be our text, which is going to hold your data in the table, right? And now let me select this. So we want hug, that is fine. We want the direction of the layout horizontally, that is fine. Let me just align it to the center, because it helps when you have different sizes of the row. So it basically gives you the more control, or rather than control, I can say it will give you more alignment options, or it would easily. So let's say if you have to scale up your row, then your content will always be in center rather than having it on the top right corner. So let's have it in the center, and the horizontal and vertical padding and the spacing between the objects you can determine as per your design system or your style guides which you are using. Usually you should be following it in the portion of fours or eighths, you can say. That basically gives you more nice looking spacing and padding around. So let's have probably 8. Okay, both on the left and right, and then instead of a fixed height, I'll give it hub content, so it will always be like this. Now next thing is we need to convert this into a component, and now you'll be seeing where we have this component thing. Now in the new UI we have everything at the bottom side, so you can click on the actions, and then you can find all the actions which you want to take, and then you can create the components out of it. So create component. First thing for the component is basically you would be creating the properties. That's why you can see the property like add property at the very top in the properties panel. So let's create a quick variant property, because I'm going to use the same cell as a table head as well as the cell itself, right? So let's create a component of it and then give it a name, cell, and property can be state or type. You can say type, which type of cell it is. So this is going to be a regular cell. This is going to be the head, table head. Okay, and for the table head I'll change the background color slightly a bit darker. Okay, and then the text also can be bold, right? And let's make it probably 14 for the table heads, and then let's keep the 12 as is for the cell. This is the base of table cell. Now first quickly create the table row component, and then we'll be creating the table itself. So to create a table row, I'll just copy the cell here, and I'll duplicate it for the number of times I want. So I'll just hit the command D, or probably I'll select all and hit shift A, it will basically add everything in the auto layout. If you want the separators, you can add the lines, you can add the border, right? Or you can simply adjust the spacing. So let's say 1, then basically it will create that 1 pixel space between the cells, so you can easily create the cells. So let me okay, 1 2 3 4, that is fine. Let's give it a name, table row. Okay, I can say sample table row, because the actual table row is going to be a different one, but yeah, I guess let's make it sample table row. And I would add underscore just before this. So basically this is going to be a private component when we convert this into a component. So again, let's go here and create component. So now we have this component, and now I will create a copy of this because I want to nest the sample table component in another component that is going to be my row. And in this case I will create again a component, and I'll say table row, and all the spacings, paddings which I want for the table row, I can define it here as well. So basically, if my table should always have, let's say, 8 pixels on both sides, so I can add that spacing here for the row. So whenever we are going to use the tables, we are going to use this table row component to create the table. And whenever we want to change the inner components, then you can quickly swap the internal components using the different tables here. Okay, so now let me create one property here, add property. Then this property is going to be a variant property. I will say state, and or we can say state, that doesn't matter at all. Let me add one more. I'm sorry, yeah, and I'll call it row, and I'll call it head, because this is going to be our head type and this is going to be our row type. So I'll select these all nested cells, and I'll change the type of these two cells. Now you'll be seeing there is this difference in the size. Okay, so what we can do now to fix this, we have to fix our table cell component. Now let's go here and let's add a minimum width to the table cell component. So let's add a minimum width. Let's go, oops, sorry, not here. It's here. Add a minimum width, and that is going to be, let's say, 120. Okay. Same will apply here as well. Add a minimum width of 120. 120 can be a large if you are working for the mobiles, but you can change these properties as per your need. And we need to change the alignment of the text as well, so that should be always a center aligned text. And this can be the field container, and this is already field container. Great. Now if you take a look at this table row here, now you can see your table cells are having equal dimensions, right? So now the time is to create actual table component. So I'll drag and drop this, I'll drag and drop this out of the component. Okay, and now I'll select both of them. I'll hit Shift A, which is going to create an auto layout for me, and I'll create I'll give it a name. Okay, table. Now all the styling which you want to do to your table can be done here. So let's say I want a background color to my table, for example, right? And also I want the spacing on the top and bottom as well for the table component. So we can all add all these things here itself. So let's add probably 16 at the top and bottom of the table. So wherever you are going to use this table component, you will always come with a 16 pixel top and bottom padding. Okay, and you can basically duplicate this as many times as you want. Now you'd be seeing I want a horizontal line as well in the tables. So to do that, you can simply do the same thing, where you can add one as a space, and you can see your table is ready. Now if you don't want the space vertically, then you can simply select your table row components and change the spacing which we have defined in the table row components, right? So let me go here and select this, and let me make it 0, and same here as well. Let me make it 0. So now you can see our table component with only the horizontal spacings is ready. Now guys, if you want to learn more about auto layout, then be sure to check out a dedicated tutorial on auto layout, which basically talks all the different aspects of the auto layout and how to create the responsive things in auto layout. So yeah, I'll put the link in the description below, as well as you can find it on the info section, the eye icon on the video itself, so you can go to the auto layout video as well. Well, if you are watching first time, or if you're on the channel for very first time, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon. That will really motivate me, and that will really help you guys as well to get the notifications for all our future uploads. Okay, so now our sample table is also ready. If we want to basically, let's create this component now. Now our table component is ready. Now wherever you want to create a table, basically you have to drag and drop this thing, right? And you need to basically change the table rows with any other sample table component. So let's create probably I'll take this sample row as I'll take this as a sample here. I'll just break the component, or I'll do it from here. Detach the instance. Now my component is broken. I'll rename this. Let's say again I'll create a local component in this case, and I'll say test row, right? And in test row I'll define all my columns. For example, I need name, I need email, email, and what else we need? Let's say phone, okay, and we need address. Now definitely email would need more space, so you can still go ahead and adjust the width of the email section. And if you want email to be the left aligned, you can select the email text here, you can align it to the left. Again you can add a property in your table cell component, which we are going to see very soon in the video. But yeah, for now let's change the alignment manually. And for address as well, I want a longer text or a longer cell, right? And for the address as well, I'll change the alignment to the left. Now I'll convert this into a component again. Let's go here, create a component. Now our test row component is ready. What I can do, I can simply get rid of this table. If I don't want to, I can simply use the table row component. That would be more than enough, and you don't need to create the table component. But yeah, you can create that as well, but that is really not required. So what you can do is you can get the table row component itself, and then double click on it, and then you will find this sample table row. And now I'm going to replace this with the test row component which we have created. Now you can find it in the local components because it is not published with the design library. So be sure to you are in the local components, and then select this test row. Now you can see my table component has already updated as per the test row. So now I'll show you more cool thing here. So I'll select the table row itself. I'll duplicate this for one more time. I'll select both of them. I'll hit Shift A, which is going to create my table. I'll add a spacing of 1 pixel between. I'll select the second row, and I'll change the instance to row. Now you can see it has automatically changed the styling of all these things with the table cell component up here. Now let me just see why it is broken. It is not broken, it is just the alignment is not fixed. But yeah, all the things are there. So now you can see when we add the alignment property in the table cell component itself, then we don't even need to fix the alignment manually. Now you have seen we have just created a duplicate table row, and with all the spacings, all the content is or all the columns of the table are automatically defined in the table row. And now I'll show you more cool things. Let me duplicate this for the multiple time, and let's say now you want to change the width of the email section, or email column. So what you can do is you can go to your test row component, you can just change it here, and everything is updated very quick, really, in just matter of seconds, right? So I don't want address this long, so I can just quickly change it with a snap, and it is updated in the tables wherever I'm using them. So now let me just change this to hug content. So my table component will always be as per the content within the table. Okay, now you would be seeing, okay, this is what we have done with the table, but how we would be updating the data real quick. So we already have a dedicated tutorial on how to add the, or how to play with the typography or the text data in Figma with using a cool plugin. I'll put the link in the description as well as in the info section, where you can follow along, and you can simply select all the table cells, and you can change the content for all the table cells just with a single click. Yeah, you can get the content from the chat GPT, and you can add it in your tables within seconds. So definitely you can check out the tutorial, that would be more helpful for you guys. And yeah, so now our basic table structure is ready. You can use these tables wherever you want as per your use case. So you can say test table. We definitely don't need this. This is just a reference when you publish all your components. So just to give a reference of how a table is created, you can use this component. But anyways, when you are going to create the tables, you can simply create the tables just with a local component, and you can create as much as different tables with just a quick snap. So this is going to be very helpful. Now I'll show you one more quick demo here. Let me create a duplicate of this. Let me detach the instance again. I will give it a different name for now. Let's say UXmate. Okay, and I'm going to add the subscriber names. Oops. Okay, and then emails, phone number, and just let's have date, subscription date. Okay. Now I want to create a table real quick with the same number of rows, and I don't want to do it from scratch. So I'll simply duplicate this. I'll hit enter. You can now see I have selected all my rows within the table. I'll hit enter again, or return if you're on Mac, and now you can oops, I guess we missed to create the component first, but yeah, sorry, it happens. Let me create a quick component here. Now this is going to be our underscore UXmake local component. I'll select the table. I'll hit return twice, and then you are in the if you take a look at the hierarchy, you are in the nesting of the table. You can simply swap the component from here real quick, and your table is updated within the minutes, right? Now let's go to the thing where we are going to allow users to add inputs or the buttons or the checkboxes or any other damn component in your table cell. So how we are going to do that? So let me quickly create a couple of dummy components here. So probably I'll just have very simple components. So let me probably add a button, and maybe with this color, and it has 8 pixels at the corner radius, and it is I created a rectangle, so sorry, pardon me, let me delete that. It is an auto layout, a center align auto layout, and we are going to add the 8 pixels corner to this. Let me select a color. You can choose a local any color, doesn't matter, and let me add a text in it. Correct me. Okay, probably I'll change the color. Let's have this. Okay, great. And let me give it a name, button. You can create you can use your pre-existing components. I'm just creating because I don't have any other components in the file to give you a demo. And I'll quickly create a component for the input field as well, let's say. Okay, input field, and for input field, let's have it as is. Let's change the color to white. Do we have white? No. Let me break this. Let me select the white. Let me add a stroke to this, and this should be fine. Let me change the color of the text and the style of the text. Let's have regular, and let's change it to the black, and let's give it a little width. Change the alignment to the left. Text is already aligned to the left. You may have it as a field container, so your text can be accommodated within the input field. I'll select this and this as well. I'll create the components. Okay, our components are ready. Now we'll add the properties or the variants in the table cell itself, which will basically have the input, and then that input can be anything. It could be a radio button, it could be a checkbox, it could be an image, input field, anything. So let's just add a variant for the table cell, and this is going to be my input. Okay, and now this time I'll select the instance of the button. For now, let me cut it, let me select the text, let me replace it. You can use command shift R to replace any selected thing, and this color has to be white because we don't want the gray color at the background of the text. And spacing looks good, we may reduce it if we want. I'll now select the button itself, and then I'll create a property, or create instance swap property, and this is going to be input type. You can give any name, doesn't matter. You can add the preferred values as well, so let's add them quickly. Let's say just want the button. Okay, I already had a component, sorry. I'll also allow user to select an icon. I will also allow user to select what else we have. Yeah, we have input field. Okay, so they will able to swap either a button, icon, or an input field in the table. So let's just create the property, and now let's quickly go to any of the table which we have created here, and let's say we want one more row at the end of let's say this second table. So I'll go to this UXMate row. I'll just duplicate this. I'll change the type of the table head to input. Okay, and yeah, that's it. It is all added input everywhere. Just the things which you need to take care is you need to select all the other cells here, and you need to make sure that rather than having a hug, you need to have a field container, so it will match the height of your input thing. Now you may need to go ahead and change the property here, like for the first cell, or for the first row, and I just wanted to for the rest of the things. So what you can do is you can select this, and rather than input type, you can have a table head type, and this will say table cell, or whatever you want, let's say actions. Okay, now you can select all the rows here real quickly, and then if you want to select the buttons only, you can hit command on your keyboard and just select it using the just simply draw it around, and then you will be able to select the buttons only. So I'll select all the rows rather than just the button, because we have the types on the row. So I'll change it to icon. Then now you can see it is swap the button component with an icon. And now let's say I want an input field, so it will give you the input field as well real quick. For input field, if you want now it is taking the available width here, but let's say if you want a minimum width defined, you can go ahead and change your input field component at any point of time. So let's add a minimum width. Let's say I want 200 pixels. In any case, at least it has to be a 200 pixels width thing. And for the cell component, for the action, rather than having a fixed width, you can basically it is already a content, then that should automatically adopt. Why it is not? Okay, just because it is nested in the table, it is not adapting to the width because it is a fixed width thing here. So I'll just go ahead and change it here in the components. I'll say hug content, and now you can see it has automatically adjusted the width of the table as per the this input thing inside it. And for the table cell, you can go ahead and manually do that, because you need to do some things manually. Right, so your head also is in align with the table, and I will just align the actions to the left hand side. Great. So you can see our cool table is ready. You can modify the cell component as much as dynamic you want. If you want to add an image in this, you can create one more variant here where you can add the image in the cell, and you can just change the property of the cell in the table row, and then your table will adapt to the component which we have defined at very micro level. So I hope guys you have enjoyed this video, and I would like to understand if you have learned anything from this video. Then definitely write it in the comment. If not, still write it in the comment. So or if you want to suggest something, then definitely feel free to go and write it in the comment. And yeah, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and meanwhile keep watching, keep learning, keep designing.